wanted to call. I'm so excited and so privileged to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, I think, let's introduce yourself to the viewers and listeners on the call.
Okay, well, I'm Natasa Denman, and I like to call myself the ultimate 48-hour author, but also I am the ultimate mumprenuer. And my core business is we have a signature program where we help people write their books in 48 hours, and it's an end-to-end service to position them as an expert and to build their credibility and expertise and leverage their time ultimately. On the other hat that I wear, as we said, I am a mumpreneur, and for those of you that don't know, it's a blended word of mum and an entrepreneur. And I've recently, only 12 weeks ago, my daughter's actually going to be 3 months old tomorrow.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
I had a baby, and I've got two others. So I've got a 6-year-old son, a 3.5-year-old daughter, and a 3-month-old daughter. So doing it all from home, been in business, coming up to 5 years this May. And I run it with my husband. He ended up quitting his day job 2 years ago, and last year was our first 7-figure year in business, which means we've been able to reach out and help so many others get their dreams and write their books and really start to create that life by choice and driving your own bus, if you like.
That's so just fantastic. And, personally working with you for the last 15 months now, and, I just don't know how you do it all. How do you do it all?
Yeah, sometimes I look back, Jane, on the previous months or years, especially when I've had my last two babies. When I had the last two babies, I was running the business, and even right now I'm in the middle of it, and I know I'm doing it one step at a time because I am breastfeeding my baby full time. And but in hindsight, when I look back, I go, how did I get through that? How did I have the energy to do it? You don't know until you're sort of just in it, and you just have to do it. There's no you don't actually have any choice. So just good planning, so that obviously the child gets what it needs when it needs it. Certainly it helps nowadays with the third child. My husband is home, so at the moment while I'm doing this, he's upstairs babysitting, if you like, and getting a little bit of work if she's sleeping, and vice versa. We share one calendar, which means no one double books their sessions until our baby is about 8 months old, and she starts to join our second child in the childcare kinder program, so that we can have all 3 kids out of the home and be working together. So one step at a time, that's how I do it, and one day at a time. Especially right now as you're interviewing me, I'm in the midst of probably a very challenging period.
I just find that you and Stuart have been such an awesome power team. How do you manage with the team and then the business side of it? So how do you separate between the personal family life and the business?
It's actually a bit of an all or nothing, if I can be blunt, in terms of, if it's Monday to Thursday, it's kind of all hands on deck with the business and juggling the kids with pickups, drop-offs, and looking after the baby. But there's not very much present moments, if you like, up until, we have this 45-minute time frame at the end of the day at 11 p.m. when we turn off our computers and we watch a show, and we just snuggle on the couch or things like that. So that's all we get Monday to Thursday. Come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's where I don't work any of those days, and I will spend some one-on-one time with the girls because my son's in school and they're not. On the weekend we'll go shopping. So like then it's all or nothing in terms of, it's just quality time, and I don't tend to pick up phone calls or emails. It's very minimal. If it happens, it's like that half an hour in the day that I may. So it's very divided. We go away on a lot of holidays, which means that our quality time also is in those bursts. Like we're going to Europe for 5 weeks, which means we'll be with each other, spending a lot of quality time. And over Christmas, we have 5 or 6 weeks off. So we get it. It's just that when it's work time, when it's the peak period to be generating business, you know, it's like we're focused on the business and we're teaching the kids, even though one of them is starting to understand, the others don't, but we know they will one day.
Yeah. So from what you're saying, I think the key here is be present. Whatever you do, just be present 100% of the time.
Do the thing.
Quality. And then when you have, you know, you have time with the kids, even though it's not maybe as, you know, in terms of quantity, it's not maybe as many, but because you're 100% present, it makes it a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And so don't be checking your phone and going off on, you know, with your brain off in business world if you're there with your family and your children, because you'll miss it all. It doesn't matter that you're on a day off if you're going to do that. So, I'm guilty of that sometimes, not all the time, because as I've gone through the years, I've learned more and more. I was less present in the first couple of years because it was that big effort that had to be put in to build the business to where it is. Now there is routine, which means with routine, I can have the fully switched off periods and the business periods. So, and, you know, I always remind myself, you know, where I'm at. So I'm consciously living so that I don't, you know, be all distracted, because I can be. Like, I'm a very energetic person, so I'd like to be doing 5 or 10 things at once.
I'm the same with you. So on that note, do you believe in the idea of having a balanced lifestyle?
No. No. I always say to people that there's no such thing as balance. There is a thing called flow. And flow is when you are able to do all of the things, say family time, leisure time, and business time, all the same. All the same. And actually coming up this weekend, which is funny, we're running our first author retreat for the year. And the thing is, the baby's going to be there to sleep the night, because I'll have to she'll be dropped up in and off. I've hired a house for my mum and the other kids 10 minutes away from the retreat house. Yeah. We're going to be having a lot of fun and socializing with our authors, which satisfies my need, for my social need, which is very high within me. And then I'm doing business, and sometimes I sit there by the pools at these retreat houses and go, oh my God, do I really get paid to do this? This is where I kind of go, well, that's flow, because you're satisfying your social life, you're doing your business, you're helping others, you've got your family around you. So there you go. That's your balance. It's, even though like some people go, okay, well, you don't have a weekend, you're working that weekend, but it's not, because I'm going to be having stacks of fun, and I love them. And as soon as I finish one, I go, oh, when is the next one? Even though now as it leads up to it, like I go, oh my God, you know, will I pull this off? So it's flow. There's no such thing as balance. And that's why when we go to Europe, also we'll be checking in with our business, because that's our life.
And I think, you know, on that note, I think balance is just such a concept that everyone aims to achieve, but not many people can. And, you know, I think the concept flow works better. But in the contrast, you know, there have been times when you face pressures and challenges, especially with, you know, building a family and the business early on. So how do you cope with that early on?
Look, I've always had a mentor, and I've always had someone by my side to help me deal with my mindset funk, as we call it. And you, even talking to my husband as well, like, he's a great listener, thank God. And because not a lot of women tend to complain that they're not being heard by their partners. And my husband is a great listener, and he'll just hear me out, and I generally will solve my own problem. But many times I would have the thoughts in the beginning, you know, is this going to work? You know, I'm putting in so much effort. There's no cash flow. I still remained in my day job for the first 15 months of the business, you know, and I was just kept reminding myself, you know what, that people say that, you know, that success is just around that corner. Most people quit just before they've reached that, you know, with the diamonds are right on the other side. And you know, it was just improving my self-talk and knowing that as long as I'm taking action and doing things that I feel uncomfortable about, that some, you know, you're going to hit many closed doors and no's, but then they're going to get someone say yes to you after, you know, you've put it out there. And having the advice from my mentor to make less mistakes, that doesn't mean I didn't make mistakes and I didn't progress, but I made less than I would have if I was completely alone. because I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that. So, did the business in the early stage affect your relationship in any way?
Nowadays it affects it in a positive way.
Yeah.
In the beginning it used to affect it in a negative way because my husband wasn't from the understanding, or I went on my little self-development and awareness journey earlier on than him. And it was a time where we were diverging, where I was just constantly down in this room. This is my little girl cave, by the way, underneath the house where I do all my business. And he'd go to his day job, come home, cook dinner, watch TV, and that was the same Groundhog Day over and over. And he was in employee mindset world, and I was in entrepreneur business person's mindset world. And when even he came on board, it was a whole other. He had to take on his own journey and grow through it. Just because I established a business and was running well, it didn't mean that he would have results in it until he had his own. He worked on his own little demons, and because really business is your biggest personal development journey you can possibly have. And so now we're absolutely converging, and he's really catching up, getting opportunities himself, and he's working with clients and making changes and really believing in himself. So at the end of the day, until we both believed in ourselves of how cool we are, you got to believe you're good, otherwise no one else will believe that you are. That's when things started. He started understanding my personality more. I started understanding more that for him family and home is more higher on a values list than say going out there and getting business. And that's where we're well adjusted, because what happens if we're both business driven? I mean, our kids would get forgotten, or if we're both home driven, we wouldn't be able to. We should have stayed just in jobs, because otherwise we wouldn't be driven to build a business.
Yeah. And from what you say, in my understanding, it's a lot to do with understanding each other's journey and supporting each other at the same time, understanding what you value the most within, your life and your relationship. And I think at the end of the day, it's about you respecting the other person to do their best at a certain stage. At the same time, grow yourself and stretch yourself. You can be the better version of yourself within the business and the relationship.
Completely, yeah. So not just about understanding where they're at and being patient. I think patience is big, and I always, because as we know, both you and I can be we want everything yesterday. But being patient and just know and trusting. You got to believe in the other person. Yeah, actually, because if you don't believe, the saying is that they will prove you right. And if you do believe they can be successful, then with you, then you also will be right as well. So I think that's a big one.
Yeah. So one question I want to ask, and I'm curious, if you actually believe in the idea of having it all?
Yeah, you can have it all. Yeah, I think so, because I feel living the way we are right now, I've stopped looking at price tags. Like, or going out there and, like my daughter, I was choosing her christening dress. I saw it in a window in a shopping centre the other day, and I walked in, I said, show me that dress. And I said, oh, that's perfect. I said, I'll have that, and I'll have like a little headpiece and whatever, because we're taking overseas. Not for 1 second did I consider how much does this dress cost, because usually in the past would be, always look at the price tags and all that. And to me, that's a big change. So that means a lot to which other people might not mean. To me, having it all is about being relaxed and having. My son asked me this question the other day. I got to share this. It's really funny. He goes, Mama, do credit cards or FPOS cards, do they ever run out of money? I said, well, yeah, I didn't know how to handle the question, because I want to always build really positive money beliefs within my children. Yeah. I said, well, we work, but there's always lots within there, but because we're doing the work, so ours won't ever run out of money, and stuff like that. But it was just funny that he actually had this idea that we just keep using this card, and it's So I thought I'd share that. What was it? Yeah, so having it all. Absolutely, you can. You can, but you got to work hard as well. So there is moments where I find, like, I really am finding it hard to get up in the morning since I've had the baby, because I'm breastfeeding through the night. And I know consciously, though, it's not because I'm feeling say not as motivated or enthusiastic about my business, but because physically my body's under a lot of pressure, having to create the milk and the feeding and the getting up in the night. So I know my sluggishness in the morning is due to our circumstances right now. Once I get going, like right now, I'm like on fire. I'll keep going till 11, 12 o'clock at night. Yeah. Yeah. So different times you'll experience different emotions, and sometimes you might feel like you don't have it all, but all human beings go through the ups and downs, and that's just our, I think, biochemistry within us that changes from time to time in terms of how we think and feel.
I think for a lot of women out there, the idea of having all seems a bit too much, overwhelming. The reason is we were born sometimes with the belief that you can't have it all because you have to sacrifice. If you want a business, then you have to sacrifice a family life and vice versa. So you have either choose one or the other, not both. And looking at you, you're such an inspiration where, you've been an amazing business, figure in 4.5 years, and that's incredible. But not only that, in terms of your personal journey and how much you've grown as a person, how much your relationship has strengthened over the years, and how you have both built amazing power team that allow you to run a business at the same time living the lifestyle that you desire. And I think that's something that I want to unveil and allow people to step in and say, I can do this, because you guys have walked the talk.
Yeah, and don't forget, though, that the journey was not easy from the beginning. It may look like that right now. It's not even all the time. Every day is not the same. However, overall, if we summarize it, we have an amazing life. We're so blessed and we're so grateful. In the first couple of years, it was a hard slog. It was like I would ask myself the question, is this what life is going to be about from now on? I had no idea. What did I, put myself into? But I kind of never gave myself an option not to look back and step back into anything different. And you know what, Jane, I don't know if you know this about us, but we did have a relationship coach. I think probably was 18 months or 2 years into the journey, for about 6 months. So, just talking about things and having just a third person. So what you do is also super important for people, and it's a needed kind of support person to keep you going and accountable to some of the things, because we weren't present to each other. So that other person having there and putting the investment and having that skin in the game made us do the things that we needed to do, and then got us into regular routines in terms of how we were with each other and so on.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that. And I think the value in relationship coaching is going to go up and up as there's actually more divorces going out there these days. And I think, that's made me feel like really appreciated that the fact that you say that. And I appreciate a lot more what I do now, because I realize that, especially when couples go into business together, there are a lot of challenges, especially it breaks down in terms of communication. And when you don't communicate well, you're not present to each other, and you get stressed about money and business and everything else in between. The relationship does get impacted. So, Natasha, I want to ask, what is number one tip for strong, amazing women out there who want to live their dream?
Back yourself.
Yeah.
Back yourself, because I came from a place where perhaps I didn't think anything was possible.
Yeah.
And those beliefs built over a period of time through references of success. That, I can do this. I can speak there. I can coach this particular person. I can't believe that people I'm attracting. And the more of those things that I allow to come into my life, that proves to me that really anything that my brain can imagine is
Yeah.
to create. And I'm looking at this vision board, which is right behind this computer here, and all of these things that I have on there have happened. I need to actually remove some of them and replace them with some other things. And I was at the National Speakers event last year, and I'm about to go on this Goals 12-week program. And I was just reading it before we got to the thing, to our meeting, and there's this little book they gave us, and we have to write like all our dreams and dump it all down. And I've done goals so much, and you know, for anyone listening, it's the core, the foundation of any success. And I'm going to be buddied up with a lady to do this 12-week challenge, and it's like every day you're going to be writing things down. It's like a very intense process. And I thought, oh, how cool. And then it's got this dream list, and it says, without censoring yourself, you know, make a list of anything you think you would like to be, do, or have. And I go, oh, I'm going to have so much fun. Like, a lot of people find it hard to actually give themselves permission to dream. But actually, if you just do and just put it out there, certainly you got to take action to make things happen. But I think it also on some subconscious level, you go into that space to be able to create that. Just like the conference that I'm speaking at next week, approached me through an article I wrote. I never put it out that I wanted to yet. I had this picture on my vision board. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, wow.
Of a crowd of people in a conference style thing. And it's been there. It's actually, there's a couple of them and me in front of them. And what, you know, I never knew how I would speak in front of, say, that many people. And it just came to me, literally, I had only taken the action of putting an article into a specific magazine. Yeah.
And the thing for you, you're such an action girl. Like, you're big on actions, and I think that's what have helped you build the business over the years. And a lot of it is to overcome your fear and back yourself. So, yeah.
Just say yes to everything that comes your way, and more things of higher quality will start coming your way as time progresses, because initially you'll because the universe is just testing you, you know, and giving you that a warm up here, then get to a higher stage, and get to a higher stage. I mean, me even speaking at the National Speakers Monthly event last year in October, that was a big deal for me, because I was in front of people who do this for a living, and they're always at conferences and get paid thousands upon thousands of dollars, probably have 7-figure businesses from just speaking.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to get to present in front of this crowd. Like, you know, how intimidating is, for example, would that have been had I been at the beginning? But because I did my work and I proved myself along the way, I believe that's what made it, that's what the universe then said, you're ready for this, and gave me that opportunity.
Yeah. And, you know, thank you so much for your time. I know you have an amazing offer for the mompreneurs out there, for the women in business, to be able to work with you and achieve so much value, and to get your insights on how to build, you know, the 7-figure business. So
I'll tell you about something new that I've recently launched, which I think is perfect for mompreneurs, because there's many programs we have, but people are certainly need to go through a certain process to be ready for them. So one that I really love, that I thought of, you know, this is how it happens. Once you learn to trust your gut and your instinct, the ideas flow in. And it came to me like a month or so ago, driving home. And I developed what I call power mentoring, ultimate power mentoring. And it's perfect for mums because it's 15-minute sessions once a week. And it's no bullshit, as I say, because I love to chit chat, and I'm a very social person, but when we need to talk strategy, let's get in, do it. We're all busy with lots of children. So therefore, 15-minute, anyone can find 15 minutes in the week to have a mentor and a support person, whether you're talking mindset or you're talking strategy to build the business. That's awesome. So normally I do like a jumpstart hour in this power mentoring, and then we continue on, and people either commit over a 6 or 12-month period. But what I like to do, Jane, for your listeners is something that's been really popular in terms of like a little trial of the power mentoring. Yep. And what I do is I do 2 15-minute sessions with some prep work that they have to do. So it's almost they've got to do like an hour on their own before they see me, so that I have the backup information to be able to make the time use valuable. So 15 minutes, which will go over obviously 2 weeks. And then a bonus copy of my book, Natasa Denman Reveals, 1,000 Days to $1 Million Coaching Business from Home. And so that's valued at $30. So all of that little bundle is valued close to probably $300-400. And I normally give this trial little package for $47 for your listeners. So if anyone wants to jump on board with that, then get them to just email me. I'm sure you'll share those details.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there what I guess the listeners or viewers can do is to send the email straight to you. What's your email, Natasa? If they
it's Natasa, but it's spelled without a H. So it's Natasa at Natasa Denman. So again, NatasaDenman.com. So they can email me straight there, and they can look at that website as well, which is NatasaDenman.com.
Yep. And having worked with you before in the past, I know that each 15 minutes is packed with so much value. And I know everyone, who had that time with you, will find gold nuggets in there. So
well, I've been taking some people through this trial because I've got a group on Facebook which we run, and I've put it out as a deal, and just have had so many people take it up, and they just love the period. If they want to continue on because they love the structure of it, then by all means, if I have the room, because I'm only really taking 10 people through on the full ongoing program, because that's how much time I have for that particular program. But I love it, and if I can help someone in 15 minutes say something, impart something, that's awesome.
Yeah. So 2 sessions of 15 minutes for $47, including your book as well.
Correct.
That's a value pack of $400. So if anyone's interested, please send email to Natasa at natasadenman.com, and she'll get back to you. Thank you so much for the time on the call, Natasa. It's been so much gold. I can't wait to actually put into the blog and share with the viewers. Again, once again, thank you so much. I feel so privileged to have you on the call.
My pleasure.
Okay, bye.
Bye.